Hello, welcome back to the Boardgame's 4K YouTube channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings, and we generally like to talk a lot of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general. And in this video, we're going to be talking about a very old game that has recently been discontinued by Days of Wonder. We're going to be talking about Pirates Cove, and this is a game where you're going to be assuming the role of a pirate, sailing around a few islands, trying to avoid these different sort of swashbuckling characters, trying to get enough booty that will give you victory points that will allow you to win the game. And in this video, we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules. We'll be telling you what we do like, what we don't like, and then we'll come back and we will tell you whether or not Pirates Cove is still worth playing today and in the future. So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below, and we'll see you after this. So, Pirates Cove. How to play this game? So, Pirates Cove is a very, very basic game. It's like a family game. It's played out over 6 phases. So, at the beginning of the game, everybody's going to get a ship player mat, and you'll see that on each player mat you've got different criteria like sails, crew, cannons and hulls, and everybody will take one of their ring markers and they will place it on the second space on each of these categories, right? So if you look at the board, you'll see that there's a number of islands in the game, and whenever you are discussing the islands, or whenever the islands become important in the game, you will be using a concept known as westward. So you'll always be going west around the islands. So you've got Tavern Island, you've got Hull Island, you've got Sail Island and Cannon Island, there's Crew Island, you've got Treasure Island, and then you have the Pirates Cove. So the first phase of this game is a treasure phase, and what you'll do, you'll go around each island and you'll reveal the next treasure card from the top of the deck, and there's 12 cards in each deck, and that equates to each round in the game. So there's going to be 12 rounds in this game. So the next phase of the game is the navigation phase, and every player has got one of these little wheel things, and what they'll do, they'll select on the wheel a location that they want to travel to in secret, and then everyone will reveal simultaneously, and then you will then move your pirate ship to that location. So in the next round, you will look to see if there's any locations that have 2 or more ships, and then you will then have to fight a battle. So combat's very, very simple. So it's going to follow a number of phases, right? So the first phase is the prepare for battle phase, and you've got the option of playing a battle card from your hand of tavern cards, right? And each battle card you play will last for the entire duration of the combat, and these battle cards have different things going on. So you might have a battle card that says that everyone rolls the number of dice indicated on their crew regardless of the number of cannons, right? Or you might have a battle card that says no other card can be played by anyone during this battle. So the next thing that you're going to do is you've got the option of firing a volley, and what you'll do, you'll play a volley card from your hand of tavern cards, and these cards only last for the duration of the roll, of the round. You'll announce whose ship you are firing at, and then you'll roll a number of dice equal to your crew or cannon strength, whichever is the lower. You roll that number of dice and you hit on a 5 or 6. And what you'll do, if you hit one of the other players, then you'll reduce one of their categories on their player mat down by the amount that you have rolled. And if ever a category gets knocked off of the player mat, then the player loses the battle and they will be sent to Pirates Cove, right? So the fourth phase, once you've done combat, is you will plunder, and you will look at the location that you're at, and you'll take the treasure card and you'll get all of the rewards on the treasure card. And these might be victory points, they might be doubloons, or they might be tavern cards or other stuff. So next thing you can do is you can upgrade your ship at certain islands, like the Crew Island. You will be able to upgrade your crew. At Sail Island, you'll be able to upgrade your sails, and at Hull Island you'll be able to upgrade your whole fun hell thing. So the 6th and final phase is what you do, you will move the black pirate ships, or if you're playing with 3 or less players, you'll move the purple pirate ship as well, 1 space westward, and then you'll check the treasures that you've got. You can only hold a number of treasures equal to the value of your hull, and you've got to discard any more. You'll repeat steps 1 to 6 until you've gone through 12 rounds, and the player with the most victory points will be the winner of Pirates Cove. So what do we like about Pirates Cove? So the first thing that we really like about Pirates Cove is that it's a family game for sort of young kids that has a pirate theme, and these sort of games are quite few and far between, really. I mean, pirate games in general, up till a few years ago, were few and far between, and basically the only sort of pirate games that you had to choose from are this one and maybe Merchants and Marauders, and obviously a few have come out since then, but there's really not that many pirate games out there, and not really many pirate games for families and young kids, ones that can accommodate young children, and this is one of them, and that's really good. So the second thing that we like about Pirates Cove is the fact that there's always something on offer no matter where you go. The treasure cards give you an abundance of rewards no matter where you're going, so you're always going to get something. You're always going to get victory points, you're always going to get doubloons, or you're always going to get those tavern cards that could get you out of a pickle in battle. So the game keeps giving you stuff, and that's a fantastic part of this game, is that the game constantly gives you rewards, you know. So the third thing that we really like about Pirates Cove is the way that the game incorporates these sort of real life pirate characters. So the Royal Navy's obviously in there, you've got Edward Teach, Blackbeard, and all of these characters have got special abilities and different attributes that make it more easy or harder to defeat. So, you know, for instance, like Edward Teach, Blackbeard shoots at a player's ship with the most cannons first. There's more than one player involved in combat. You've got Captain Hook, obviously not a real life character, but you know what I'm getting at. Captain Hook shoots at a player's ship with the biggest hole first. Any miss is a potential hit on another player's ship. And you've got Anne Bonny and Mary Read, right? And they shoot at the fastest player's ship first. So yeah, it's really good that they've got, I said real life, I meant like sort of, you know, famous characters, you know what I mean? So it's good that they've included something, and it does anchor the theme down. So what don't we like about Pirates Cove? So the first thing that we don't like about it is this game goes on too long. Well, it's 12 rounds. It goes on for about an hour maximum, but that is far too long for a game of this simplicity. And we've played this a number of times, and every time we play it, when we get to maybe like the 8th, 9th card, we start to get a bit weary of it, and it's too long. I know you could say that you could take some cards out, but that would mean that you would unbalance the game because certain cards wouldn't come out, and it might mean it's a little bit unfair if someone gets all the crap treasure cards, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a little bit too long. So the second thing that we don't like about Pirates Cove is in stark contrast to one of the other points we made about the pirate cards. There's not enough of them. There's not enough variety. And I know you're going to say, well, they don't always come out, do they, Matt? You know what I mean? But the trouble is, if you want this game to last a long time, you are going to get fed up with the 6 or so pirate cards that are going to keep coming out. And they could have done with a few more, maybe 12, you know, one for each round, but they didn't do it, so that sort of sucks, right? So the third thing that we don't like about it, and this is probably our main gripe with this game, is that the rule book is too convoluted, it's too dense for a game of this nature. And they do give you a little cheat sheet, but you do need to wade through this really dense rule book. Well, I say dense, but it's just too dense for a game of this nature, you know, it's far too big. And what they've done, they've got the core rules in the first part of the book, and then they've got some other rules that you really do need to know about in the second half of the book. And it's not really clear when you're reading the first part of the book that you need to actually go through the rest of the rule book to read it, because it looks like a sort of a rogues gallery type thing, you know. And the rule book it's not the greatest thing. So the final thing that we don't like about Pirates Cove is that at the end of the day, this game is kind of repetitive, you know. And what it boils down to is basically you just choosing where you're going to go and crossing your fingers and hoping that nobody else is going to choose the same space. So that's basically the game, because you don't really have any other options other than deciding what cards you're going to use in combat. So it's a very simplistic game, not real any strategic skill other than, you know, trying to figure out where other players are going to go. So it's a bit disappointing. So to summarise, is Pirates Cove worth dredging up today and in the future? And we are going to say no, probably not. It's now been discontinued by Days of Wonder, and I can see why, because I think it's officially it's got something to do with the fact that one of the designers has passed away. So, you know, that's a real shame, obviously. But the fact is, this game isn't that great anyway. It suffers from shallow mechanics, an absurd game length for such a simple family game, and it's also bogged down by the fact that when combat occurs, the people that aren't involved aren't actually going to be doing anything. They're just going to be observing, and the combat's not even that fun to watch. So when you're not involved in combat and somebody else is, you're sitting there thinking, here we go, this is going to take forever now. So, you know, and if there's multiple combats that you're not involved in, that's really drags the game down. So really, this is a game for families and kids, because if you're looking for even an ounce of strategy, you're not going to find it here. But having said that, it's still, you know, sort of fun with young children. My kids really like this game. So there you go. We're going to give this 2 out of 5. It's out of print, probably permanently. So if you do want a copy, now is the time to pick this up before it does disappear for good into the murky depths of Davy Jones' locker, so to speak. So there you go. That's Pirates Cove. Remember, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below, and we'll see you next time.